ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Namaskar, my dear friends. I am going to start some videos on self-knowledge. This is video number 1 on self-knowledge. This video starts with chapter number 1, universe, creation and evolution. In the beginning, Brahma, who is one without a second, alone exists. When darkness was rolling over darkness, there was existence alone. Nobody knows how this universe came into being. You will find in Rig Veda, who knows here, who can here state whence came all this multifarious universe. Even the Devas are posterior to its creation. Who then knows whence this came out? Rig Veda. Hiranyagarbha, or the firstborn, or the golden egg, Sutratam man, Kriya Brahma are other names for Brahma, the creative aspect of the Lord. Sutratma means thread soul. Hiranyagarbha pervades all beings like the thread in a garland of flowers, hence the name Sutratma. All this is strung on me as clusters of gems on a string. Gita chapter 7 stanza 7. Hiranyagarbha is Karya Brahma. Isvara is Karna Brahma. Karna means cause. Karya means effect. Hiranyagarbha is born of Isvara. Some hold that the universe was created out of nothing by a fiat of God and that it will again lapse into nothing at the period of deluge. This dogma of creation ex nihilo is not endorsed by scientists. They say emphatically that what exists now should have existed always and will continue to exist always in some form or the other. In Sankhya philosophy also you will find that which is cannot come out of that which is not. Sankhya Sutra 78. Gita also states there can be no existence out of non-existence, nor can the existent cease to be. The truth about both has been perceived by seers. Something cannot come out of nothing. Something can come out of something only. Unconscious matter cannot be the ultimate cause of the universe. It is Jada, an omniscient Isvara only, who can have an orderly arrangement, can be the creator of this universe. An effect does not exist apart from its cause. For instance, a pot does not exist apart from clay, its material cause. Similarly, this universe does not exist apart from Brahma, its material cause. It has no independent existence. It is one with Brahma. Brahma alone exists. This world is a mere appearance. When one gets knowledge of the self, this world vanishes, just as the snake vanishes when one cognizes the real rope for bringing a lamp. Isvara wills. The equilibrium of the gunas is disturbed through Kala under the influence of Isvara. Kala is a Shakti of Isvara. Then transformation takes place through Swabhava, which is the essence of Prakriti. The development of the Mahat Tattva follows from karma. Originally, this world was enveloped in darkness. Isvara or the Lord, though unmanifest himself, caused this universe to be gradually manifested. By dint of his will, the Lord, the undecaying substratum or reality of the universe, gave the first impetus to nature to seek of her state of primal equipoise and to be gradually and successfully evolved in those 24 categories and elements such as intellect, egoism, root elements or tanmatras. Prana, mind, the five bhutas or elements which were necessary for the formation of the present universe. The subtler the element, the more powerful it is. Water is more powerful than the earth because it is more subtle than the earth. Water removes away earth. Fire is more powerful than the water because it is more subtler than the water. Fire dries up all water. Air is more powerful than fire because it is more subtler than fire. Air blows up the fire. Ether or akasa is more powerful than air because it is more subtler than air. The air rests in akasha. Akasha is the sport for the air. Air is born of akasha, fire is born of air, water is born of fire, earth is born of water. During cosmic parlaya, earth is reduced or involved into the water, water into the fire, fire into the air, and air into the akasha. Now, I will describe the evolution of the gross world. The five tanmatras are divided into two equal parts, with a half of one element is mixed 1/8 of each of the other elements. A fivefold combination takes place. The five gross elements are formed now. This is the process of panchikarna or quanti quintuplication. When the tanmatras are in the original state without being mixed with one another, they are called apanchikrita or non-quintuplicated five elements. The whole world, the four kinds of gross bodies of four kinds of beings which Udbhija or seed born, Svedja or born of sweat, oviparous or born of egg, and viviparous or born of placenta, and all objects of enjoyment are formed out of the five gross quintuplicated elements. The physical body of the human beings is called Annamaya Kosa. The Jiva experiences the waking state with this body. The process of Panchikarna quintuplication is as follows. Each of the five rudimentary elements, tanmatras of each water, air, fire, ether is divided into two parts. One of the halves is further divided into four parts. Then each gross element is formed by the union of one half of itself, tanmatra, with 1/8 of each of the other four tanmatras. Then the gross Brahmanda and physical bodies are formed. Now I shall proceed to describe the evolution of the subtle world. Isvara willed and the Tamoguna became divided into Avarna Shakti, veiling power, and Vikshepa Shakti, projecting power. On account of this veiling power, man is not able to realize his original Satchitananda nature. He is not Koshas. The projecting power has projected this universe. From Vikshepa Shakti, the subtle Akasa was born. From Akasa, Vayu. From Vayu, fire. From fire, water. And from water, earth. These five subtle elements, which are unquintuplicated, are called the Tanmatras or root elements. These root elements contain the three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas. From the sattvic portion of akasa, the ear, the organ of hearing, is formed. From vayu, the organ of touch or the skin. From fire, the eye. From water, the tongue. And from the earth, the nose. Antakarna is found from the sum total of sattva of these five tanmatras. The Antakarna is fourfold, which mind, intellect, chitta, and ahankara. Chitta comes under mind and ahankara under intellect. According to Kapila Muni, the founder of Sankhya philosophy, the three gunatmik prakriti consisting of sattva, rajas, and tamas is the cause for this world. According to Nyaya philosophy, Isvara, Nitya, Jnana, Ichha, Paryatam, Vam is the efficient cause of this world. Vaisesika of the Kannada school of thought hold that Parmanus are the material cause. According to Patanjali's yoga philosophy, Visesa Purusha, Isvara who is not touched by Kalesha Karma, Vipaka Asya is the efficient cause of this world. Karma, dharmas, and adharmas is the cause for this world. According to Jaimini Mimamsik school, according to Vedanta, the reflection of Shuddha Chaitanya in Maya is Isvara. Maya Sabalita Chaitanya is the Abhinna Nimittopadana Karana for this world. Kalabadins say that all this time for its root. Time is everything. Time is God. Time indeed is the seed of the universe. It is time again that withdraws everything at its pleasure. But time is Jada. Time is a drop in eternity. Eternity is Brahma. Aksanika Vijnana Vadins say there is only Vijnana. The world is mere idea. It is only the idea that appears as objects. Sunyavadins deny objects as well as the Vijnana. The three elements earth, water, and fire are termed Murta with form and air, and ether amurta formless. On account of the heat of summer, the earth is scorched up. The earth becomes fallow, but the roots of the vegetarian remain underground. During the rainy season, all the roots germinate again with full vigor. Even so, when the previous creation is burnt up by the fires of Parlaya, the roots of the trees of samsara remain embedded in avyaktam or prakriti. When the next kalpa begins, the root again germinate, creation begins, and whole world is again projected. Srishti or creation is of two kinds, which Yugapat Srishti and Karma Srishti. In Yugapat Srishti, the five elements, Mahat, Ahankar, etc., and other objects of the universe come into being at one time, that is simultaneously. In karma srishti, the elements come out one by one. From avyakta is born mahat, from mahat ahankara, etc. From akasa vayu is born, from vayu fire. There is creation in succession. Sri Vasishta told Sri Rama, at one period all the universe, Shiva creates at another period, Brahma at another period, Vishnu, then Munis, and so on. Sometimes Brahma is born in a lotus, sometimes in water, sometimes in mundane egg, sometimes in akasa. In one creation, the powerful trees alone will exist in this universe. In another, the earth alone. In another, the stones alone. In another, flesh alone. And in another creation, gold alone. Thus it will be in diverse ways. During the several creations, the foremost is sometimes the Akasha, sometimes Vayu, sometimes Agni, sometimes Apas, and sometimes Prithvi. Herein, I have but briefly described to you the creation of one Brahma. The order of evolution will not be the same in all yugas but will vary with the different yugas. Krita and other yugas will again and again recur. There is no object in this world which does not again and again cycle around many times. As from blazing fire, sparks all similar to one another come forth in thousands, so also from the imperishable Brahma, various types of beings are born and they also return back to Brahma. As the web issues from the spider, as little sparks proceed from fire, so also from the one soul proceed all breathing animals, all worlds, all the gods, and all beings. Brihad Arnika Upanishad. Avinasi tu tad vidhiyena sarvamidam tatam vinasa yastaya na kaschit kartu marhiti. But know that to be imperishable by which all this is pervaded, none can cause the destruction of that, the inexhaustible. Gita chapter 2, stanza number 17. The universe in all its stage is never apart from Brahma. The grass comes out of the earth and is absorbed into the earth. Even so, this universe comes out of Brahma, rests in Brahma, and dissolves in Brahma. Atma is homogeneous, world Prakriti is heterogeneous. Atma is one manifestation, nature is many, one has become many, one is real, many are unreal and illusory. Through the help of a powerful telescope, you can bring the moon to a distance of 75 miles and photograph the mountains that are seen there to a height of 20,000 feet. Temperatures of other planets are recorded. Experiments like these are very interesting. Study of astronomy and practical researches are very inspiring. They bring the student in tune with the Lord or Creator. But still more inspiring is the study of Atma or highest self. All the planets, stars, satellites hang or float in that mysterious Atma. He is the source or yoni womb for all solar systems. Glory, glory to the Lord of Lords. If you attain knowledge of the self, the meaning of life will cease to be a mystery. You will clearly understand the why and how of this universe. The purpose and progress in the scheme of things will become clear to you. All the transcendental things will be known to you like the apple in the palm of your hand. In Brahma, there was a spandan or vibration before the world was projected. This is the Sankalpa of Brahma. He thought or willed, Ekoham Bahushyam. I am one, may I become many. This vibration corresponds to the bulging of the seed within the ground when it soaked with water, then the whole world was projected. Brahma creates this unthinkable universe through his elusive power of Maya with three gunas for his own Leela sporting. But these activities do not touch him in the least. He is Asanga, Nirlipa, unattached like ether. This world floats in him like a log of wood in the ocean. When an ordinary meager juggler can bring forth mangoes, fruits, money, sweetmeats, an imaginary place, etc., through Indrajala or Sammohana Vidya, can he, the omnipotent, omniscient ruler, not create this insignificant world for his own play? When a mortal king adorns his palace with furniture, pictures, curios, garden, fountain, etc., can he not furnish this world with beautiful landscape, brilliant sun, moon and stars, mighty rivers and oceans? If you can create countless dream pictures and give them light and life also during the dream, if you can possess such powers, can the Lord not have omnipotence, omniscience, etc.? A famous Harley Street specialist professor A.M. Lowe has discovered a liquid which he claims can guarantee the sex of any child before birth. He claims a 90% successful result from his experiments. He has worked on the theory that all parents have either male or female reproductive tendencies. According to Professor Lowe, the liquid which he has invented after years of research acts on these tendencies to ensure either a male or a female birth. These inventions are very amazing indeed, but still more amazing is the eternal soul, the basis for inventions and discoveries, theories and hypotheses, the basis for the energy and the life of a scientist, the basis for cosmic energy. The scientist is able to work in his laboratory through the light of his eternal soul. His mind cannot work, his eyes cannot see without this soul. The soul is mind of minds, prana of pranas, ear of ears, and eye of eyes. Let Professor Lowe try to discover this eternal soul now. The Upanishads or Shrutis are authoritative. They will guide you. They will inspire and elevate you. You must have unshakable faith in their teachings. Then only you will be saved from the clutches of Maya or death. Do not destroy them by means of your sophisticated reasoning. The intellect is a frail and finite instrument. Do not depend upon your intellect alone. If you do so, there is no hope for attaining immortality. What is the purpose of God's creating this world? This is a transcendental question or Adi Prashna. You will know the purpose only when you attain God consciousness. The finite mind that is conditioned in time, space, and causation cannot get an answer for a question that relates to transcendental matters. You simply waste your energy and time by entering into hot discussions regarding the question why God created this world. Is the world real or unreal? It would matter nothing to you whether the world be real or not. You will not gain anything substantial by entering into such controversies. You will have to dive deep into the chamber of your heart by withdrawing the mind and the outgoing senses to rest in the Supreme Self. Give up, therefore, these useless discussions and proceed straightway into the quest of the Self and its realization. Instead of counting the number of the leaves in a tree, try to eat the fruits directly. Try to enjoy the eternal bliss of the self by realization. This is wisdom. If you attain knowledge of the self, the meaning of life will cease to be a mystery. You will clearly understand the why and how of this universe. The purpose and progress in the scheme of things will become clear to you. Through regular spiritual sadhana, attain the knowledge of the self. What is this world? It is the mind that has given shape, color, and taste to an orange. For a scientist, an orange is a mass of electrons or atoms. For a student of Vaiseshika school of thought, it is a combination of anu. For a clairvoyant, it is a collection of tan matras. For a jivan mukta or a sage, it is Brahma. There is some defect in the lens of your eyes, and so you see the external objects. If your inner eye of wisdom is opened, the same orange is perceived as Brahma only. This world is cognized as Brahma only. This world is mere illusion. It is mere appearance like snake in the rope. If the world is a reality, it must appear to you in deep sleep also. This vast sense universe shines as Atma Sankalpa. If there is mind only, there will be this universe. There is no mind during deep sleep, so there is no world. The more you think of the objects, the more this world will appear to you as real. The conception of the reality of the universe will increase if you think of sense objects often and often. It is only the waking state that brings before us this creation. The waking state is only the projection of the mind and hence it is Maya or transient. If the universe is everlasting, it must exist in our experience during deep sleep state. When the mind is free from sankalpa, there is no universe. The universe does not exist in deep sleep state. In deep sleep state, you have no experience of the world because there is no mind. This clearly shows that there will be world if there is mind only and that the mind alone creates this world. That is the reason why Shrutis declare that this world is Manu Matra Jagat. Manaha Kalpita Jagat. Time is a mode of the mind. Time is a mental creation. Time is a trick or jugglery of the mind. Time is an illusion. Brahma is beyond time. It is eternity. There is a local time. If it is 12 at Madras, it is 12:23 p.m. at Calcutta, 1 p.m. at Rangoon, 1:30 p.m. at Singapore, 6:30 p.m. at London, 12:30 a.m. at Chicago, 1:30 a.m. at New York. What is all this? There is no uniformity. Does not this indicate that time is a creation of the mind? Go beyond time and rest in the timeless, eternal, imperishable Brahma. Tomorrow becomes today and today becomes yesterday. Future becomes present and the present becomes past. What is all this? This is a creation or trick of the mind only. In Isvara, everything is present only, everything is here only. Brahma is beyond time. There is neither day nor night, neither yesterday nor tomorrow in the sun. The mind has created time and space. When you are happy, time passes away quickly. When you are unhappy, time is lingering on you. This is a relative world only. The theory of relativity by Einstein throws much light on the nature of Maya and this world. A magician throws up a rope in the sky, climbs to the sky through it, and disappears. After 5 minutes, he falls down on the ground dead with shattered limbs. After another 5 minutes, the same magician stands before you. Now tell me whether the death of the magician is real or false. You have perceived the phenomenon with your own eyes, so is the tangibility of matter of the sense contact. If you are in Allahabad for a month, you forget all about your native place, Madras, your friends and relatives. You create a new world of your own at Allahabad. When you come back to Madras, you forget all about Allahabad. It is only the mind that creates a world. If you slay this mind which creates the illusion, there will be no world for you. Through the trick of the mind, 1 furlong appears to be a great distance and 3 miles appear as a very short distance. You ought to have noted this in your daily life. In samadhi or superconscious state, wherein there is annihilation of the mind, there is no world. Just as the snake in the rope vanishes when lamp is brought, so also this world, which is mere appearance or superimposition, does not exist when one attains illumination, when the sun of knowledge dawns. Self-knowledge. The world is nothing but sex and ego. Ego is the chief thing, it is the basis. The sex is hanging on the ego. If the ego is destroyed by vichara or inquiry of who am I, the sex idea will take to its heels by itself. Man, master of the destiny, has lost his divine glory and has become a slave, a tool in the hands of sex and ego on account of ignorance. Sex and ego are the products of Avidya or nescience. The dawn of spiritual knowledge of the self will annihilate these two enemies of Atman, the two dacoits who are plundering the helpless, ignorance, little false jiva, the illusory I. World is Parinama Nitya, changing eternal. Brahma is Kutastha Nitya, unchanging eternal. World is Satyam in a relative sense. Brahma is Satyasaya, Satyam, truth of truth. World is Vyavaharik Satta, empirical reality. Brahma is Paramarthik Satta, absolute reality. Dream creatures are Patibhasik Satta. A Brichna, finite thing is always a Nitya, non-eternal. Is this not your daily experience of in life? Brahma or Atma, which is the essence of mind, body and Indriyas, is Aprichna, infinite, Nitya, eternal. Realize Atman. Therefore, by singing Om, all miseries will terminate. You can become a Dattatreya or Sankara. This world is not Atenta Mithya. This is Mithya. But in what sense? Is it unreal as the horn of a hare, or a barren woman's son, or a lotus in the sky? No, it is not so. It is not as much as a solid reality as Brahma is. When compared with Brahma, it is unreal. It is mere appearance. That is Mithya. Do you clearly understand the point now, dear Chandra? Do not make mistakes in future about the term Mithya. The wrong conception of the world mithya has brought severe havoc in the minds of the Hindus. It has brought ignoble inertia and stagnation in the minds of the people of India and in the majority of sannyasis too. Even if you take the world as Sat, you can keep up certainly as a matter of course your position of Kevala Advaita of Sri Sankara. You need not deviate even a fraction of an inch. Bear this in mind, just as heat and luminosity cannot bring duality to fire, so also this world cannot bring duality to Brahma. But how can appearance affect reality? This world is anadi or beginningless. Karma is also anadi. The path of karma is mysterious. Get knowledge of the self. The mystery of karma will be revealed unto you. Some say this is a bad world as there is much pain, sorrow, and temptation. But if you do noble deeds, if you practice japa and meditation, you can attain eternal bliss. This bad world will become a sweet and lovely paradise for you. Do not blame the world but blame your mind. Correct and educate your mind. You will have a changed vision of this world. There is only one truth, God, and there is nothing else. This world is His manifestation. All activities, happenings, and doings are His. All is He. This world is ephemeral and a passing show, a phenomenon only for a time. There is no individual existence. The individuality is simply imaginary and an ignorant condition of the mind. There is number two because there is number one. If you start counting one from the little finger, the thumb will be number five. If you begin to count from the thumb will become the number one, and the little finger will be number five. One becomes five, and five becomes one. One, two, three, etc. are relative figures only. There must be an unchanging, real, permanent substratum for this appearance. That substratum is Brahma or young, your own self. In reality, there is neither two nor three. There is only existence or truth or Brahma. The world is subject to ever recurrent periods of activity and passivity known as kalpa and parlaya or day and night. Practically, there is no death for anything. There is active life in piece of stone or block of wood. The atoms, molecules, electrons vibrate and rotate with a tremendous velocity. There is a difference between there is a difference between a Nariswaravadi and a Nastika. Nariswaravadi is one who denies the existence of Iswara Satta. The followers of Kapila Muni are Nariswaravadins. Nastika is one who says that there is no soul independent of the body and that the body alone is the soul. He further states that the soul is found by the combination of betel and chunam lime. Charvakas belong to this cult. They state that the soul perishes after the death or disintegration of the body. An agnostic is not an atheist, he only says that God is unknowable. According to the nebular theory, every solar system was in the beginning a huge mass of gaseous matter which filled all space and which was rotating in its own axis. As ages rolled on, the gaseous matter attained the igneous stage. The central portion contracted. The mass rotated very rapidly and threw off rings on the outer side, which gradually cooled down and formed into planets. These planets were in a molten or a liquid condition for a protracted period. Gradually, they cooled down and became solid. The world appears as Brahma for a sage, as a Lord for Bhakta, as a mass of energy or electrons for a scientist. There are only electric vibrations outside. There are only electrons in this world. Everything is electricity, different frequency and different wavelengths of vibration. This is the theory of the scientist. The energy that is contained in a handful of dust, when liberated, can blow up a mountain. This is the theory of modern scientists. They are attempting to demonstrate this by experiment. The scientist bombards the atoms, watches the movement of the electrons in his laboratory, spends his whole life in understanding the nature and secret of matter and energy, invents many things, studies the laws of nature, and yet he is not able to comprehend the mystery of creation and of the Creator and the meaning of life. He is not willing to study himself. He does not like to go deeper into the recesses of his heart and find out the Superman or the indweller who is behind his personality or false ego, the unseen governor or the hidden sage who sets the atom in motion, who gives life to these atoms, who is the universal storehouse of energy. He will be groping in darkness unless and until he comes face to face with this hidden light of lights, which sheds light to his intellect and senses and his atoms. All the achievements of science and results of research are used for inhuman purposes. Science has not contributed anything to the real peace of man. It has rendered life more complex and luxurious. Many luxuries have become the very necessities of life. Let us go back to nature and lead a peaceful and contented life with a few wants. With abundant devotion and meditation, enough of science, enough of research. O scientists, turn mind inwards, do atomic research and bring out the priceless treasure of the soul. What is that by knowing which everything else will be known? What is that by attaining which there will be no hankering for any other thing? What is that by realizing which one becomes immortal, fearless, and desireless, and rest in a everlasting peace and happiness? It is Brahma or Atma or the ultimate truth, which is the summum bonum of life. It is Bhuma or the highest or the unconditioned. You can get real happiness only by attaining this Bhuma or the highest self theory of rebirth. Man can be compared to a plant. He grows and flourishes like a plant and dies at the end, but not completely. The plant also grows and flourishes and dies at the end. It leaves behind it the seed which produces a new plant. Man lives when dying his karma behind, the good and bad actions of his life. The physical body may die and disintegrate, but the impressions of his actions do not die. He has to take birth again to enjoy the fruits of these actions. No life can be the first, for it is the fruit of previous actions, nor the last, for its actions must be expiated in the next life following. Therefore, samsara or phenomenal existence is without beginning and end. But there is no samsara for a jivan mukta or liberated sage who is resting in his own Satya Chit Ananda Swarupa. When a man dies, he carries with him the permanent linga srira, which is made up of five jnana indriyas, five karmandriyas, Five pranas, mind and buddhi, chitta and ahankara, and the changing karma saraya, receptacle of works, the actions of the soul, which determines the formation of next life. Sri Gyanadev, late reputed yogi of Alandi, wrote his commentary on Gita Gyaneswari when he was only 16 years old. He was a born Siddha. You can also become a Siddha if you try in the right direction, right earnest. What one has attained can be achieved by another also. If a newborn child who has not done any wrong action in this birth undergoes great suffering, this is the fruit of some evil deed done in the previous birth. If you ask how the person was induced to do a wrong action in his former birth, the answer is that it was the result of some wrong action done in birth still anterior, and so on. Many intelligent fathers have sons with dull intellect. If a shepherd boy gave you some food and water in your previous birth when you were dying of starvation, he will be born in this birth as your son with a dull intellect to enjoy your property. When creatures are born, they evince a desire to struck the breast and show an instinct of terror. Therefore, it follows that they remember the sucking of the breast and the pains experienced in the previous birth. This shows that there is rebirth. Even a child exhibits harsha, exhilaration, soka, grief, fear, anger, pleasure, and pain. The dharma, adharma, samskaras of this birth cannot be the cause of these. The sanskaras of the previous birth must have a sport, asraya. From this, we can clearly infer the existence of jiva in the previous birth and that the jiva is anadi or beginningless. If you do not accept that the jiva is anadi, the two dosas which Kirtanasa and Akritbhagama will creep in. Pleasure and pain, which are the fruits of virtuous and vicious actions done previously, will pass away without being enjoyed. This is the dosa of Kirtanasa. So also one will have to enjoy pleasure and pain, the fruit of good and evil actions which were done by him previously. This is the dosha of Akritbhagama Bhagyam in and evil actions which were done by him previously. This is the dosha of Akartibhagama. In order to get rid of these two dosas, we will have to accept that the jiva is anadi or beginningless. Some yogic students ask me how long should one practice Sirsasana or Paschimottanasana or Kumbhaka or Mahamudra to awaken Kundalini. Nothing is mentioned in this point in any book on yoga. A student starts his sadhana from the point or stage he left in his previous birth. That is the reason why Lord Krishna says to Arjuna, or he may be born in a family of wise yogins. There he recovereth the characteristics of belonging to his former body and with he again laboureth for perfection. O joy of the Kurus, chapter 6, stanza number 40 to 43. It all depends upon the degree of purity, stage of evolution, the degree of purification of nadis, and the pranamya kosha, degree of vairagya and yearning for liberation. Some are born with purity and other requisites of realization on account of their having undergone the necessary discipline in their past life. They are born Siddhas. Guru Nanak Gyandev of Alandi, Vamdev, Ashtavakra were all adepts from their very boyhood. Guru Nanak Dev asked his teacher in the school when he was a boy about the significance of Om. Vamadeva delivered lectures on Vedanta when he was dwelling in his mother's womb. Man does actions with the expectation of getting fruits, and so he takes a birth to enjoy the fruits of his actions. In the next birth, he does some more actions and he has to take another birth. In this manner, the sansaric wheel is revolving from eternity to eternity. When one gets knowledge of the self, he is liberated from this round of births and deaths. Karma is beginningless and samsara is also beginningless. When a man does not when a man does actions without expectation of fruits in a selfless spirit, all the fetters of karma get loosened gradually. Die to live. Kill this little I and attain immortality. Live in Brahma. You will live forever. Possess Atma. You will have eternal life. Identify with your soul. You will cross the ocean of death of samsara. Rest in your Sat Chitananda Savrupa. You will have everlasting life. A leech moves on a blade of grass and reaches the end of the blade. At first, it first catches hold of another blade with the fore part of its body and then draws its hind part onto it. Even so, the Jivatma individual soul abandons the present body at the time of death, fashions the future body by his thought, and then enters into that body. A good or bad deed always brings its good or bad fruits. You will find in Mahabharata, just as a calf finds out its mother among 1,000 cows, so also an action that was performed in a previous birth follows after the doer. Yadrisham kriyate karma, tadrisham bhujyate phalam, yadrisham payate bijam, tadrisham prapayate phalam. Just as the fruit corresponds to the seed that has been sown, so also the fruit of the actions that are performed by us corresponds to the nature of the actions that we perform. This is an infallible law of nature. He who has sown the seed of a mango tree cannot expect a jackfruit. He who has done evil actions throughout his life cannot expect happiness, peace, and prosperity in his next life. Many are the times we have all been together in the past and also been separated, and so again shall it be in the future. Even as a heap of grain removed from granary to granary ever assumes new order of arrangement and new combination, so is the case with jivas, human beings, in the universe through this arrangement. Yoga Vasishta. What is death and how to conquer it? Death is only a change of form. Death is only separation of the astral body from the physical body. Why are you so much afraid of death, my dear Vishwanathan? Birth follows death just as waking follows sleep. You will again resume the work that was left off by you in previous life. Therefore, do not be afraid of death. The idea of death has ever been the strongest motive power of religion and religious life. Man is afraid of death. In old days, he tries to think of God. If he remembers God even from his child boyhood, he will reap a rich spiritual harvest in old age. Man does not want to die, he wants to live forever. This is the starting point of philosophy. Philosophy inquires and investigates. It boldly proclaims, O man, do not be afraid of death. There is an immortal abode, that is Brahma, that is your own Atma, that dwells in the chambers of your own heart. Purify your heart and meditate on this pure, immortal, changeless self. You will attain immortality. O man, do not be afraid of death at all. Thou art immortal. Death is not the opposite of life, it is only a phase of life. Life follows on ceaselessly. The fruit perishes, but the seed is full of life. The seed dies, but a huge tree grows out of the seed. The tree perishes, but it becomes coal, which has a rich life. Water disappears, but it becomes the invisible stream which contains the seed of new life. The stone disappears, but it becomes lime which is full of new life. The physical seed only is thrown, but life persists. Can you tell me, friend, is there anyone on the surface of this earth who is not afraid of death? Is there anyone who is not uttering the name of the Lord when he is in serious difficulty, when his life is trembling in the balance, or when he is in acute agony? Why then, O skeptics, do you deny the existence of God? You yourself admits his existence when you are in trouble. On account of perverted intellect and worldly intoxication, you have turned out as an atheist. Is this not a great folly? Think seriously, give up arguing, remember him and attain immortality and eternal peace right now. In Garuda Purana and Atam Purana, it is described that the pangs of death are tantamount to the pain caused by the strings of 72,000 scorpions. This is only mentioned to induce fear. Bhayanaka Sabda in the hearers and readers and force them to attempt for moksha. In spiritualism, there is the unanimous report from the enlightened spirits that there is not even a bit of pain during death. They clearly describe their experience at death and states that they were relieved of a great burden of this physical body and that they enjoyed perfect composure at the time of separation from the physical body. Maya induces vain fear in the onlookers by inducing convulsive twitchings of the body. That is her nature and habit. Do not be afraid of death pangs. You are immortal, Amra. Amr. Strive ceaselessly to live in God through japa, kirtan, service of the poor and meditation. Then only you will be able to conquer time and death. When the God of death comes to take your life, he will not accept your excuses. I had no time to worship God in my life. Knowledge of Brahma or Brahmajnana alone can free us from the clutches of ignorance and death. This knowledge should come to us as a direct realization through meditation. Mere scholarship or intelligence or study of religious books cannot help us to attain the summum bonum. It is a matter of direct experience but not of argument or reasoning. Habitual study of abstract problems will result in another earthly life in a well-developed power of abstract thinking, while flippant history thinking flying from one object to another will bequeath a restless, ill-regulated mind to the birth followed in this world. Self-realization will remove avidya or ignorance, the root cause of human sufferings, and produce in life the knowledge of oneness of the self, which is the means for eradicating grief, delusion, the dire melody of birth and death, the concomitants of samsara or world's process. The sun of pure consciousness is shining in the chambers of your heart. This spiritual sun of suns is self-luminous. It is the self of all beings that transcends speech and mind. If you realize this self, you will no more return to this Mirtuloka, the world of death. Birth and death are two illusory scenes in the dream of this world, created by the jugglery of Maya. In truth, nobody comes and nobody goes. Atma alone exists forever. Destroy moha and fear through inquiry and rest in peace. I know that mighty Purusha who resplendent like the sun transcends darkness, ignorance by knowing him alone. One conquers death. There is no other way to salvation. Yajurveda. Every effort in the direction of yoga never goes in vain. You will realize thereby the fruit of even a little yogic practice. If you have succeeded in the practice of the three limbs of yoga in this birth, which Yama, Niyama and Asana, you will begin your practice in the next birth from fourth limb, which Pranayama. A Vedantin who has acquired two means, which Viveka and Vairagya in this birth, will start his practice in the next birth from the sixfold virtue, which Sama, Dhamma, etc. Therefore, you should not be discouraged a bit even if you fail to attain the Kevala or independence or final Asamparjanta Samadhi. In this birth, even a little practice for a short period will give you more strength, more peace, more joy, and more knowledge. You cannot die because you were never born. You are immortal Atma. Birth and death are two false scenes in the unreal drama of Maya. They concern the physical sheath only, a false product formed by the combination of the five elements. The ideas of birth and death are mere superstition. This physical body, which is made up of clay or earth, is a toy for the Lord for his Leela or sporting. He is the wire puller or Sutradhara. He keeps his toy running as long as he likes. Eventually, he breaks the toy and throws the pieces away. The game of the two ceases. There is only oneness. The individual soul merges in the supreme soul. The knowledge of the self destroys all fear of death. People are unnecessarily alarmed of death. Death is like sleep. Birth is like waking up from sleep in the morning. Just as you put on new clothes, so also you put on a new body after death. Death is a natural incident in its course. It is necessary for your evolution. When the physical body becomes unfit for further activities and use, Lord Rudra takes it away and supplies a new body. There is no pain at the time of death. Ignorant people have created much horror and terror regarding death. There is only one reality, Brahma. This world and body are superimposed on Brahma, just as snake is superimposed on the rope. As long as the rope is not known and the idea of snake persists, you are not free from fear. Similarly, this world is a solid reality to you until Brahma is realized. When you see the rope with a light, the illusion of snake vanishes and the fear disappears. Even so, when you realize Brahma, this world vanishes and you are freed from the fear of births and deaths. You dream sometimes that you are dead and that your relatives are weeping. Even in that supposed death state, you see and hear them weeping. This clearly indicates that even after apparent death, life really persists. You exist even after the physical sheath is thrown out. That existence is Atma or the big I. If you realize the immortal soul which is hidden in your heart, all these forms of the three notes, which Avidya, ignorance, Kama, desire, and Karma, actions, are rent asunder. If the chain of ignorance, which ignorance, non-discrimination, egoism, likes and dislikes, karma body is broken, you will be freed from round and round of births and deaths. You will enter the city of deathlessness, moksha. Moksha is the summum bonum of life. Moksha is the fulfillment of life's purpose. Life ends on this earth plane when you attain moksha or liberation from birth and death. The realization of your real object in life is freed freedom or moksha. Moksha bestows on you eternal life of undecaying bliss and perennial joy. Moksha is not annihilation. Moksha is the annihilation of this little self-arrogating ego only. Moksha is realization of the identity of the individual soul with the supreme soul. By annihilating this little self, you possess the whole of true universality. You attain an eternal life. Mukti is obtained through the knowledge of the self. To attain jnana, you must have one pointedness of mind, ekagarta. Ekagarta comes through upasana. Upasana comes through purity of heart, chitta shuddhi. Chitta shuddhi comes through niskamya karma yoga. To do niskamya karma, you must have controlled the indriyas. The indriyas can be controlled through viveka and vairagya. Moksha is not to be regarded as a becoming into something which previously had no existence. Moksha is not something to be achieved, it is already achieved. Everything is one with Absolute or Parabrahma. What is to be achieved is annihilation of the sense of separateness. Moksha is the direct perception of that which has existed from eternity, but has hitherto been concealed from us on account of the veil of ignorance. Moksha is attainment of supreme bliss or immortality and removal of all kinds of pain. Moksha is freedom from birth and death. Freedom or mukti is your only real nature. You will have to know this truth only through direct intuitive experience. You will have to cut asunder the veil of ignorance by meditation on the self. Then you will shine in your original pristine purity and divine glory. Brahma, self, Purusha, Chaitanya, consciousness, God, Atma, immortality, freedom, perfection, bliss, Bhuma, or the unconditioned are synonymous terms. If you attain self realization alone, will you be freed from the round of birth and death and its concomitant evils? The goal of life is the attainment of the final beatitude or moksha. Moksha can be attained by constant meditation with a heart that is rendered pure and steady by selfless service and japa. Moksha is the highest benefit from prayojana. Jnana is the benefit which one gets in the internal. Avantara prayojana, just as plantain fruit is the highest benefit which one gets and the leaves etc. are the avantara prayojana in the interval before one gets the fruit. So also moksha is the highest benefit and jnana is avantara prayojana. Jnana is only the means to attain the highest bliss. The jiva falsely superimposes the body and others which are not self upon himself and identifies himself with them. This identification constitutes bondage. The freedom from this identification is moksha. That which causes this identification is avidya or nescience. That which removes the identification is vidya. Attainment of knowledge of the self eradicates this avidya and its effects. The Savrupa of moksha is the attainment of supreme bliss and removes of all kinds of suffering. The right knowledge of Brahma consists in knowing that he is one with one's own self. The difference between the jiva and the Brahma lies only in the upadhi or limiting adjunct. The jiva, though he is Brahma in reality or essence, is subject to the miseries of worldly existence as caused by his connection with the upadhi of antahakarna or the fourfold mind, the inner instrument. As there is no real distinction between them, it should be known that Brahma is identical with the self. Hence, it is said that those who know the real truth understand Brahma to be identical with the self as declared in the great sentence of the Upanishads or Mahavakyas. I am Brahma, this self is Brahma. They even teach the same thing to their disciple in the words Tat Tvam Asi, thou art that. Therefore, it should be known that Brahma is identical with the self. The knower of Brahma becomes Brahma itself. Having become Brahma while you alive, he is freed from the round of birth and death. Knowledge of Brahma alone is the means of emancipation of moksha. So I conclude this chapter, this video at this stage. Next video will start with chapter 2, Hinduism. Thank you for watching this video. Namaskar, my dear friends. Thank you.